Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this shall be truly quite a small video. A few people have asked me about learning mathematics and also what are the deeper philosophical meanings of mathematics. Something which I mention quite often, and often I emphasize the need for mathematics as a foundational science, as min ulum al-usul, the foundations of all sciences, as the necessary pillar and principle and foundation upon which higher sciences are based. I mean, in our modern system, we have more and more emphasis towards STEM education: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Mathematics is the basic language behind physics and all of technology and all of our scientific theories. But from this perspective, this mathematics is devoid of true mathematics from two perspectives. One, even as someone who has studied mathematics, as a mathematician, the mathematics which I imagine most of you are familiar with, unless you have studied it at university, is more computation, algorithms, than mathematics. How to do things, how to compute, how to add, subtract, solve the quadratic equation, perform calculus, solve equations. I would call that much rather mathematical methods than mathematics itself. But mathematics is the science of meanings, the science of why these things are true. It is not so much about the methods, but about the ideas behind the methods. When I said it is the science of meanings, perhaps, and actually much more accurately, and I speak about this in my book, The Vision of the Oneness of Being, for anyone interested, it is the science of structure, ilmul mabani, because everything has structure. Every science has its meanings, its fundamental ideas, which it is trying to study. But the scientific aspect of the science concerns its systematicity, the ability to take these meanings and produce a logical system through them. Mathematics is the study of systems themselves, systems, structures, logical matrices of thought, and thus of logic. Really, mathematics and logic are one and the same thing. And this will be the topic of another video, but mathematics and grammar are one and the same thing. And I mean that from a very, very deep perspective, which perhaps I should leave you to think about for now. But yes, this modern mathematics is not really mathematics, it's more methods then. The type of axiomatic logical treatment of mathematics, beginning with definitions, axioms, proceeding through proof, which one would study in the course of a mathematics degree. But from another perspective, this mathematics is utterly divorced of the meanings behind the structures. Structures are symbols. Symbols symbolize. Yes, we learn 1, 2, 3, 4. That 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. That the sum of any two even numbers is even. All these properties and structures of numbers, of shapes, and so on and so forth. But what does it mean? What's the meaning of 1 plus 1 is equal to 2? What is the meaning of 1, of 2, of 3? What is the meaning of the square, the triangle, the pentagon? The meaning of these proportions. For example, the proportion 3/5. I think it's 3/5, the perfect fifth in music. It has a meaning, it has a sound. Ratios, proportions have meanings, sounds, the octave, the chromatic scale. These are all mathematical things, but they have sounds. We inhabit a room which is rectangular or square or triangle. We look upon the ceiling above us. The tiling of the ceiling, of the arcs, the spires, the arches. There are meanings to architecture, geometry lived, embodied, meanings to number. Whether you have 2 or 3 siblings has a meaning. Whether you are the only child has a clear meaning. The number here, 1, 2, 3, has a meaning which determines your life and experience. But modern mathematics, as all modern things, are degenerated of meaning and concern themselves only with structure, dead structure, divorced, aborted of meaning. On the other side, I would say that traditional syllabi, and I suppose I here have in mind 2 things in particular, which I would deem myself fairly conversant in. One is the scholastic Christian tradition of the West. The other is the Islamic hierarchy of the sciences, the traditional Islamic science. I won't say of the East, but of the Islamicate world. In both cases, mathematics, the quadrivium, was an utterly foundational cornerstone which was mastered before one would pursue the higher sciences, the telic sciences, that is, ultimately of divinity, of law, metaphysics, philosophy, theology. So we need a repristination of mathematics from these 2 perspectives. One, to rescue modern mathematics out from the cage of modern quantity, the reign of quantity as René Guénon speaks of it. Also to repristinate, to renew, to rejuvenate these ancient traditions, which are more ancient than we think. The Abrahamic religions are capturing that which is before, the antediluvian mysteries which go eons back in time. We need to rescue and rejuvenate the ancient and also deliver the modern from its own self-crisis. Long story short, there's one book which can help us on this task, many books, but one is Euclid's Elements. And I did say this will be a short video, so let me simply speak a few words and be done, at least for now. I think you can all find this website on the internet. Just type in Euclid's Elements. It's one of the first few links. Let's go to book 1. This is the structure of mathematics. This is how it works. We have definitions. A definition is a logos, a sentence, a kalima, which articulates the essence of a thing. A point, the thing here, the idea is the point, the archetype. The definition is, and perhaps if you have seen my videos in Arabic, one word should be coming to mind here, i'rab, al-arabiyya, tu'ribu. That the definition does i'rab, it manifests the deep essential meaning of what a point is. We behold in the mind's eye the idea of a point, perception of a point, the image and symbol of a point. But what is the point? Euclid here is saying a point is that which has no parts. Subject, the point. Predicate is the definition, is the essence of a point. That which has no parts. We begin with these definitions, meanings. Then we have postulates, also called axioms. These fundamental ideas. These fundamental ideas which are self-evident is one word we might use. In Arabic, the word used is badihi, badahatan. That literally means that which appears so instantaneously by the sheer alacrity of intuition, by the august clarity of mental vision, manifests with utter perspicuity before oneself. These are the axioms, the postulates. Those things, these propositions which we shall assume the truth of because we have in some way known the truth. Because hereafter we prove everything. We have a proposition, we prove it. These before are the propositions which we shall not prove because we have known the proof of them through a deeper means. If this is mathematics, and mathematics is to prove that we can construct an equilateral triangle, the proof that we can draw a straight line between any 2 points is before this science, at least. Perhaps it's still mathematics, but it is before this book. The conclusions of the previous science become the foundations of the next science. These are the axioms. And of course, we should study these deeper. Is it so clear that we can draw a line between 2 points? Perhaps there's a more foundational science before this which should study that. And in fact, there is. It is called projective or ordered geometry. These common notions are again further axioms. The whole is greater than the parts. Now this I do not believe is there is really a previous realm of mathematics which can study this. But these axioms are taken from metaphysics. That the whole is greater than the parts. That things which coincide with another equal one another. That things which equal the same thing also equal one another. That if x equals y and y equals z, then x equals z. These are ideas from metaphysics. So these are the axioms. These are the definitions. And then we have the propositions. Those kalimats, those words and sentences and meanings, which build upon this foundation. And so each one in turn we build like a clear hierarchy. Not just a linear hierarchy of going from point 1 to infinity, but there's actually a tree of interconnected events. We go from here to here, there to there, but then we need both of these to go up there. It's a web, a network of meanings. We go all the way thus down. In fact, look over here. Dependencies, i.e., we need 1 to do 2, and we need 2 to do 3. Then we need 3 and 4 to do 5 and 6, and so on and so forth. This is describing quite a complex tree of relationships, the tree of knowledge. And then we go here and we see that there are 13 books. And again, there's a hierarchy within the books, within each book a hierarchy. This is mathematics, the science of meanings and structures. We begin with the meanings. The meanings come before mathematics, from philosophy and metaphysics, from sheer intuition and experience. But mathematics is the study of the structures which meanings fall into. It concerns not so much the seed from whence the tree came, that is metaphysics and divinity, but it concerns the structure of the tree, how the roots are come, and upon the roots built up the trunk divided into stems, and all the branches and the stems, which give forth the flowers and the fruits, which give forth seeds, which shall be grown and planted and give forth new trees, new sciences, the science of physics and chemistry and biology. But let us end here with looking at this one definition. A point is that which has no part. Thus, Euclid begins fundamentally with the idea of the point. That which is in the beginning of geometry is the point. And from the point, the line is come. From the lines, the surface. From the surface, angles and shapes, and the world as we know it, the surface of the earth and the universe are all come from the point. Because Euclid and ancient Greeks are metaphysicians. The point is that which has no parts. The point is a symbol. Remember, mathematics studies symbols, but it is a symbol of the divine. The point is that which is partless. that which therefore is its own whole, which cannot be divided, because to divide is to break something down into more fundamental things. But the point is that which is utterly fundamental, which cannot be divided into anything more fundamental. The point to Euclid and to the Greeks represents the monad, the one, God, which is in the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, as the Bible says. Definition 1, a point is that which has no part, as Euclid says, but they are both saying one and the same thing. And this is truly, therefore, mathematics, embodied in a hierarchy of the sciences, a curriculum and a structure. Mathematics is a principle of divinity, which strengthens and supports true knowledge, knowledge which is spiritual as well as noetic and mental.